Thanks, Carolyn. And there is a look at Rachel. She's standing by. She probably is a little nervous, and it does take some time to adapt to television. And as I said, just her 4th TV appearance. Getting ready for her opening shot. Was a close one last night getting into this telecast. No titles. Get up. Pins are rolling, but not in time. 10 pin for her opening shot, but in the pocket. Has to be pleased with that. Rachel from San Marcos, Texas. She'll change balls and shoot at her 10 pin. All right, 1 frame underway. And she's facing Dede Davidson. Now, Dede is not a stranger, as we said, to television, especially this year. It's her 4th show. It's her 3rd straight. 9 titles in 19 years on tour.
I did an interview this week with one of the reporters on Dede, and he said, tell me a little bit about Dede. I looked right at him and said, this is the best I've seen her throw the ball in 2 years, and she's probably one of the most underrated players on the PWBA tour.
Not the way she wanted to start, going up high, leaving the 2-4-7. 216 average. Well, Dede has been plagued with some back injuries, though, and she really hasn't been able to execute well until this season over the last couple of years.
No, and she said even though her back's feeling good right now, it comes and goes. I mean, in 3 months, her back will be bothering her again. So she just hopes that with taking care of it, she can extend her career. Dede with a little bit of a high backswing, but she's a power player. Comes right through, gets right in time there at the release. Great follow through, good knee bend. Dede's got a great game.
Hook back.
She calls for hook, and she gets it. She is one of the looser players on television in terms of her animation and having fun with the audience and her opponents.
Dede likes to play to the crowd. She said it makes her a little more calm.
Rachel Perez. So far this year, even though it's her 1st show, she has had a pretty good swing. Made all the cuts but 1. So she's very pleased with her performance this year and pleased with that shot, I'm sure.
Basic 5-step approach for Rachel. Playing inside, we've played all week. Great shot, and she likes it. She said when she works at the Cats booth, after she's done giving lessons, she'll bowl on the lane for 2 hours and just let Mike Jasnow look at her and say, okay, this is what you need to work on. So she's always working on her game.
She is, but sometimes can you overdo that?
Actually, a lot of the time you can overdo it. And she has stated that sometimes coaching has really bothered her with her bowling because she'll analyze everything she does and everything she thinks.
Well, she actually wanted to thank Mark Anderson at the Reno Cats. She said he's kind of her phone ball representative. She calls him and says, here's what I see. Help me out with what I should lay out, what I should drill. She said he was a big help, actually, this week with her. Okay, so far we're all clean. And Dede Davidson actually is cleaning off the approach right now. Just bent over with her towel and shoots something off the approach there. All even. Dede Davidson working on a strike. She can take a 10-pin lead if she strikes here in the 3rd.
Dede mentioned to me earlier she'd like to thank Rod Ross and Teresa for working with her on her game before she came out on tour. She said it was a big help.
Ooh, it looked like she almost fell over on that shot, Carolyn. Came up light, leaving the 5-9.
Seems like she's really thrown it a little bit hard, throwing right through her break point. She said speed was very crucial this week. Coming in light, but leaving an easy spare.
covers it up, and she was telling us, Carolyn, how staying slow was important this week for her on this condition.
It was a little bit of a longer pattern, 42 feet, Prodigy oil, 19.36 milliliters, a little bit less milliliters than we've been bowling on, synthetic surface. And she said with the longer patterns, she has a tendency to throw through it, through her break point. She really had to keep it rolling off her hand and keeping her speed slow.
And high again.
Looks like she's pulling through it right at the end a little bit. She's missing right.
In her 2003 telecast, there's her strike percentage, only 37%, and her spare percentage, 76%. That's pretty good. Missed 2 single pin spares so far, 18 of 20, both 7 pins. Right now clean, so Rachel Perez up by 2 pins.
And Rachel also stressed yesterday that her ball roll matched up, but every now and then she'd be really too firm because she really concentrates on being firm at the foul line and really coming through her shot. And she said also, but I had to make sure I didn't throw through my break point because on the longer pattern, your ball has to roll.
She looked a little surprised that that one struck. But yes, especially in that position round game, she came back and said, wow, I really have it amped up, and she needed to tone it down. Well, how much does adrenaline come into play on the speed factor of throwing the ball?
1,000%. I can't say it any easier than that. You know, when your adrenaline is going and your mind is racing, everything just seems faster. You walk faster, you get to the approach faster, everything. And you really have to learn to take a deep breath, think about what you're doing, and make a good shot.
Well, she just, it looks like, took some tape out of the thumb of this bowling ball. Trying to get out cleaner. Going up high, leaving the 6-10.
Seems like she missed a little left on that shot. Goes high. Back ends were hooking a little bit more this week.
So she covers it up to stay clean with 3 spares on lane 45. We're halfway through the opener. Right now, Rachel Perez is on top by 2 pins. We'll be back with more from Dallas in a moment.
What does W
Are being brought to you by the Women's International Bowling Congress, striving for 88 years to identify and fulfill the needs of women bowlers. By PWBA.com, your source for the latest PWBA news, information, merchandise, and more. And by BowlersParadise.com, the official online pro shop of the Professional Women's Bowling Association. And we're back midway through this match. Rachel Perez still in the lead by 2. Do you think they were on their way here riding those horses? Think you're coming
I'm not sure, but I think Dede's got a little bit of fan club back
Look
there.
at that. Go Dede.
X them out, they say.
.219 average on this TV pair. That was the second highest of the 5 finalists.
That was a much better shot for Dede. She got it off her hand a little bit more to the left. Didn't pull it to the right. That's the result.
Well, we talked about the future being in question, and John Falzone, PWBA president, is here with an update on the tour.
The way things stand right now, the PWBA does not have enough funding to get us through the fall tour. What we're going to do is continue to talk to people within the industry and people outside the industry. We've set August the 8th as a deadline date on whether or not we will be able to continue with the tour. And what we're going to do is at that time notify our membership, all of our fans, our sponsors, and our host bowling centers with regards to our ability to continue the fall tour.
Okay, and right now Dede continuing with that strike. She's now